Coming up, the Carmelo Anthony Center is open for basketball. You and your friends can go take advantage of the facilities.
And Jared Kushner is in hot water for some meetings he has taken in the White House. We have the details on what happened with the White House advisor.
Plus, President Trump announced a new tariff. Find out what imports he will be taxing. Citrus TV News starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
If you don't have season tickets to SU basketball but still want to attend, you're in luck. The Student Association is giving out free tickets to men's basketball games against Clemson on Saturday. Good evening, I'm Shruti Marathe.
And I'm Conor Wight. 1,000 tickets will be handed out on a first-come, first-served basis. You can pick them up from 12 to 2 tomorrow at a table in the Schine atrium. This is the last home game of the season.
With Archbold Gymnasium closed, students have limited places to play basketball. Citrus TV reporter Anna Azallion reports on the new opportunities for open basketball.
The Carmelo Anthony Center is home base for Cuse basketball. The center is normally for student athletes. Now, students have an opportunity to play basketball in the state-of-the-art facility.
And we knew during the construction renovation time that there were going to be some inconveniences for students. And we wanted to work towards making some new opportunities available.
Those new opportunities came in the form of playing time at the Carmelo Anthony Center on South Campus. From star recruits to team walk-ons, many student athletes work out in this building every day. Now, every student can come work out in this building with open basketball 2 nights a week. Students from all parts of campus make the trip to South Campus for this opportunity. Multiple students told me how much they like being able to play on the same courts as the team they go see in the Dome.
I mean, it's a great experience because it's rare you get to play on a court like this kind of feel and atmosphere. So, I mean, I try and use up the chance I had to come here 2 days. So.
After 3 weeks, over 300 students have taken advantage of the new playing time. Once Archbold Gymnasium reopens, will it continue?
We've made an agreement to offer this for this semester, and we'll kind of see what the numbers are and what the needs are for the future semesters.
Open basketball takes place every Tuesday and Thursday night from 8 to 11. Anna Azallion, Citrus TV News.
Today we remember and celebrate people with disabilities who are killed by their family members or caregivers. SU held a vigil today in honor of National Disability Day in Mourning and Shine. The Autistic Self-Advocacy Network says people with disabilities are twice as likely as people without disabilities to be victims of violent crimes. The president of the Disability Student Union emphasized the importance of the day.
The Disability Day of Mourning is a nationwide event that really acknowledges, remembers, mourns for, and celebrates the disabled lives and the disabled people who were murdered by their family members or caregivers.
And SUNY ESF has voted to remove the chair of its academic governance body. 89% of ESF faculty who cast ballots voted to remove Klaus Dewell from his position as chair. The Academic Governance Executive Committee received 2 complaints against Dewell, stating he was never formally appointed to his position and he did not fully understand the basic processes of academic governance. This announcement comes weeks after ESF removed 3 of their department chairs. And Syracuse University Ambulance and Fire Safety are partnering to offer CPR training to students, faculty, and staff. Classes will review adult, child, and infant CPR, and those who will complete the training will be CPR certified. Individuals can register for the class on Monday, March 12th or Monday, March 26th. The course costs $50 per person.
A new grant with FEMA could bring $150,000 to the Syracuse Fire Department. Citrus TV reporter Dan Prager tells us that the SFD is trying to become the top rescue team in all of Central New York.
The Syracuse Fire Department can be a busy place, and it keeps getting busier for the city's rescue team.
We have some buildings that are pretty old in this area and outside of the city. If anything collapses, our rescue company will be going and trying to figure out where there's life that's still able to be saved.
This new grant from FEMA looks to improve that rescue team. It brings new training for the fire department on how to save people from a collapsed building and sometimes save the building itself. And it comes at a good price for the city. The program costs $150,000, but Syracuse only has to put in $15,000. Syracuse Common Councilor Tim Rudd says it was an easy decision to vote yes on it.
Well, they're asking for it, and they were given a grant, and it's a 10% local contribution, so it seems like a bargain.
Rescuing people from a collapse is a hard and pretty technical job. In fact, it takes an entire truck to carry around all the equipment they might need. New training could make that job a little easier, and that would save more lives.
Collapses can easily be deadly, leaving behind just a pile of rubble where a house used to stand, sometimes with people trapped inside. Last year, 6 people died in collapses in Syracuse, and with high turnover at Station 6, not everyone has the most recent training on how to respond to a collapse. Chief Mons is hoping that this training will make sure their entire team can do more, not just for Syracuse, but for all of Central New York.
We respond regionally. We've responded all the way to Buffalo. Anytime that something bad happens, you want to be able to have qualified people that are trained to be able to go help and stabilize the situation, and that's what our rescue company is going to be able to do.
The fire department doesn't have the grant just yet. Now that the Common Council has approved it, it goes back to FEMA for review.
And City Hall's innovation team will spend the next year trying to improve housing stability in Syracuse. The team's goal will be to develop programs to reduce the number of times families are forced to relocate. Mayor Ben Walsh announced this decision online on Wednesday. He says relocation has an effect on children's education and an impact on the stability of the neighborhood. The innovation team was established in 2015 under then-Mayor Stephanie Miner.
2 Skaneateles schools were on lockdown this morning after a bullet was found in the school bathroom. Officials say the bullet was found in the middle school bathroom. Both the middle school and the high school were placed on lockdown. It was soon lifted, but both schools were told to shelter in place for hours. The Skaneateles Police Department searched and cleared the school before the end of the school day. And additionally, Caddo Meridian School District was under lockdown today. Gun ammunition was found in a backpack. While the lockdown was in effect, no one could enter or leave the building. Separately, on Tuesday morning, a student approached a staff member about being threatened on social media. A 16-year-old boy was arrested the next day and charged with a terrorist threat. It is unknown if the two events are related.
And while you and I may have enjoyed the recent warm weather, not everyone is happy. A series of Snowcross races at the State Fairgrounds scheduled for this weekend had to be canceled. Citrus TV's Adam Unger reports on the lost impact that the event could have had.
The New York State Fairground was all set to host the East Coast Snowcross circuit this weekend. There's just one thing missing: snow. Right Coast event coordinator Rob O'Connor says this winter isn't the first time that Snowcross couldn't come to Syracuse.
We tried to do it last year as well, but it was the warmest February on record since 1908, so we weren't able to do it last year either.
O'Connor organizes events at the fairground throughout the calendar year, and he says that making the course for Snowcross takes some extra preparation.
We actually had trucking companies with dump trucks lined up to haul snow in from the fairgrounds and from the airport and from Destiny and from other locations to bring the snow in to build the track in case it wasn't cold enough. But even then, now with these temperatures, we wouldn't be able to do it.
Now, some of the jumps on the track were meant to be up to 20 feet high, but piles of snow like this are all that's left. And no snow means no race, which means no ticket sales. And that's not the only economic impact.
A lot of these racers will stay in hotel rooms very close by to the fairgrounds. Of course, if you're staying in a hotel, you're eating, you're going out, maybe shopping, going to a local bar, maybe after the races and things.
Unfortunately, the Winter Wonderland turned into a melted mess. But O'Connor hopes to move next year's races to January or early February. I'm Adam Unger, Citrus TV.
The next East Coast Snowcross event is on March 17th and 18th in Plantsville, Connecticut.
You know, Conor, yesterday I was so excited about the warm weather, I went to sit on my porch and it started raining 15 minutes later.
Well, unfortunately, that's the downside of it getting warmer. Snow turns to rain, but I heard that we have some snow on the way. Let's find out if those colder temperatures are coming back. We go now to Citrus TV weather anchor Nicole Weaving. Nicole?
And well, they say that March comes in like a lion and out like a lamb, and I guess that means that it's bringing some chillier temperatures with it. It's currently in the low The high 30s right now, right around most of central New York. The warmer part coming up in Fulton at about 42 and Rome at 41, but it's 38 degrees here in Syracuse. And tonight it's going to be getting down to a lower 31 degrees. And you see that wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. That's going to make it feel even chillier than it already will be. And then rain will be moving in right around 9 p.m. So right now we're in that dry area, but you see rain in that green shade turns to blue. It'll be snow by late tonight. And I'll tell you more about what this winter storm has to offer here in Syracuse.
Coming up, Jared Kushner is being criticized after accepting loans from corporations to benefit his companies. CitrusTV political analyst Gilat Melamed is here to discuss.
And Russian President Vladimir Putin has announced a new type of nuclear weapon to improve Russia's military capabilities. Stay tuned.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back to Citrus TV. The latest in an already tumultuous week at the White House, Jared Kushner's family business, Kushner Companies, received major multi-million-dollar loans from two private companies. Kushner was meeting in the White House with top officials of these companies. Here with more is Citrus TV political analyst Gilat Melamed. Gilat, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So, would you be able to fill us in on a little more information about these loans?
Yeah, so the loans come from two companies. There's Apollo Global Management Group and Citigroup. Both these were multi-million-dollar massive loans. The Apollo one, $124 million. Citigroup won $325 million, if you could believe that. Both of them were for real estate purposes. And about those meetings, what's interesting is Josh Harris, the founder of Apollo Global Management Group, he was advising President Trump on infrastructure, and he was meeting with Jared Kushner last year for a potential job in the White House. That job didn't happen, but while they were having these job meetings, he did donate millions of dollars to Kushner companies.
Now, could this situation land Kushner in any legal trouble?
Well, no, not technically. He didn't break any rules. He can't be charged with anything. But obviously a conflict of interest. You have a senior advisor who's financially really tied to these private companies. And usually the protocol is, you divest yourself of these financial assets like President Trump did when he became president, handing over his company to his sons. So you don't have this conflict of interest, not to mention it's a bad image.
Now, all of this comes just 2 days after Kushner's security clearance was downgraded, yes. Correct?
Yeah, it does. So obviously a bad week for Jared Kushner. And going back to that security downgrade, he went from top secret clearance to secret clearance, meaning he's not getting the daily presidential briefing. So how is he going to advise the president as well if the president has information Kushner doesn't have access to? Not to mention world leaders know that Kushner doesn't have access to certain information now. They could possibly use that against him when they have meetings with him.
Now, Gilat, thank you. We're going to have to leave it there. To learn more about this, turn into Talking Points at 7:30 tonight.
Breaking news also outside of Washington. According to an NBC News report, the White House is making plans to replace National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster. McMaster's exit could come as early as next month. Officials say auto industry executive Stephen Biegun is expected to replace McMaster. Began is currently the Ford Motor Company's Vice President of International Government Affairs. And President Trump announced this morning that the U.S. will put on tariffs for steel and aluminum imports starting next week. The move is set to be part of President Trump's broader plans for more protectionist economic policies.
The tariff for steel will be 25%, while the tariff for aluminum will be 15%. Trump finally came to a decision after intense disagreements among his advisors on whether to crack down on the imports. And Equifax says 2.4 million more consumers than previously reported were affected by the massive data breach the company suffered last year.
This means about 148 million consumers have been affected by the breach, which equated to half the country. The affected people's compromised information includes driver's license data.
Equifax says it will offer free credit monitoring to the newly affected customers.
Today, the streaming music company Spotify filed for a $1 billion IPO. Spotify announced that it is going to list directly on the stock exchange without relying on underwriters for assessing demand.
This is part of Spotify's recent transition from private to public in order to allow investors to own shares and for the company to make more money. Spotify hopes that the trading volumes and prices of shares will be more volatile. And Russian President Vladimir Putin has announced a technological breakthrough regarding new types of strategic nuclear weapons.
These new weapons are capable of increasing Russia's military capability and move the Kremlin to a position of more global power. In a speech to the nation, Putin declared that the new missiles have rendered the United States' missile defenses useless.
And new this evening, the Trump administration pledges to sell over 200 anti-tank missiles to the Ukraine. This is expected to heighten the tensions between the U.S. and Russia.
An Instagram model is offering information on the alleged ties between the Trump campaign and Russia after being arrested by Thai police.
Nastya Rybka posted a call for help on social media in return for information on President Trump's Russian connections.
Rybka was arrested for violating the terms of the tourist visa. She provided no evidence to support her claims thus far.
And a person with a stolen identity has nominated President Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize for the second year in a row. Norwegian officials say the person pretended to be someone qualified to make the nomination.
It appears to be the same person responsible for nominating the president last year. The real 2018 Nobel Peace Prize will be announced in October.
Coming up, blizzards in Europe paralyze drivers, airports, and other transportation. And can we here in central New York expect the same? Weather anchor Nicole Weaving has everything you need to know after the break. Don't go away.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
This is the story of a boy. This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
And right now we're in the heart of Winter Storm Riley, which is considered a nor'easter because of the wind and heavier snow that it's going to be bringing in. Here in Syracuse, it's going to hit us starting tonight and really into tomorrow. So when you wake up in the morning, it'll be about 32 degrees, not getting much warmer than that. It'll be about a high of 33 tomorrow. And you see those winds about 15 to 20 miles per hour, and it'll be snowing all day long. It's really one of those days that if you can just curl up in a blanket and watch a movie, do it. But if you have classes like me, make sure that you're wearing a heavier jacket and definitely some good snow boots. So right now, across across the nation. If we look, Detroit's really what's getting hit by snow right now. And because of the warmer temperatures, Pennsylvania is only getting hit by rain in Winter Storm Riley. But when it comes to tomorrow, those temperatures are going to drop. So really northern Pennsylvania into most of upstate and western New York, where we are, is going to get hit by snow. And then all the way from Maryland up into Maine is going to get hit by a lot of rain. So flood warnings are issued there. So for Syracuse, we're going to see right around somewhere between 8 to 12 inches of snow. That's true for most of upstate New York, especially in the Albany area, western New York near Buffalo, as well as northern Pennsylvania in the snowiest city here in the U.S., Erie, Pennsylvania. And then as we take a look, there's also going to be a chance of power outages because this snow is heavier and those winds could also knock down, some branches affecting power lines. So we see up here in Syracuse where we are, that chance is a lot more likely. And as we take a look at our 5-day forecast, as I mentioned, some snow tomorrow, but it's really going to clear up by Friday and Saturday and Sunday, really only being cloudy. Temperatures are going to start to warm up into those low 40s, but not really getting much better than that. And if you think the snow that we're facing right now is bad, Europe is facing a blizzard that they're calling the Beast from the East. These are scenes from where Geneva and this airport was shut down due to the freezing temperatures. The storms have caused hundreds of schools to close and killed at least 12. The famous Paddington railway station in London was also shut down because of the snow, as you can see here, and there's just more snow to come. Wales is expecting up to 20 inches tomorrow.
Coming up in sports, the Syracuse men's basketball team's NCAA tournament hopes are hanging in the balance. Could the Orange pull off a road victory at Boston College? Plus, the women's hoops team begins ACC tournament play. Stay with us.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. Yeah, we're getting so wet.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Welcome back. I'm Jake Marsh with sports. Take a look at your calendar. It is March, the greatest month of the year for college basketball fans. In the next 4 weeks, there will be Cinderella stories, heartbreak, and buzzer beaters galore. But for Syracuse, the first order of business was snapping a 2-game skid at Boston College last night. Could the Orange get back on the right track? SU's team getting loose and breaking out some moves in a must-win game early on. Frank Howard straightaway 3. He starts it off well. Look at the follow-through as well. 3-0 Orange. Later on in the first, highest battle. Look alive. Ball in the air. BC gets it. And Stephon Mitchell on the near side slams it home to put the Eagles up 4-3. Later on in the first, it got ugly for the Orange. Jordan Chapman on the near side. A 3-pointer. Bang. Part of a 23-11 run, Kai Bowman. This 3, cash as well. And on the deeper end, Jerome Robinson on the near side, gets the kick out. Yes, sir. 27-14 BC Eagles in the first, but Tyus battle, as SU always does, they make a run. The sophomore gets a steal and a deuce, and BC's lead is just 3 at the half. In the second half, though, it was all Eagles. Jerome Robinson, an exclamation point after the steal, and BC runs away with it. Jim Boeheim not happy. 85-70 to the final. He's a straight shooter, though, and he admits 3 scores.
The bottom line is we got 3 guys that have been doing the scoring, and we don't have other guys that are capable of scoring, and that's really what it is, basically.
While the Syracuse men's team's postseason path is quite complex, Coach Q and the ladies are set to be part of the 64-team NCAA tournament field later this month. After beating BC on Senior Day over the weekend, the Orange went down to Greensboro, North Carolina to open ACC tournament play. Could the 8th-seeded SU Orange take down number 9 Virginia Tech? That's going to be a no. A shocking collapse by Syracuse in its opening and now only game down in Greensboro. The Hokies beat Syracuse for the second time this season, 85-70 today's final. Look away, Orange fans. SU failed to make a field goal in the fourth quarter and got outscored 29-5 in the final 10 minutes. Next up, the Cuse awaits its March Madness fate on Selection Monday. That's 11 days from now. Staying on the hill, the SU men's lacrosse team is coming off a dramatic triple overtime win last week. But despite the victory, the one thing that the Orange struggled with was winning battles at the face-off X. Coincidentally, SU's next opponent in Virginia is quite good at that. And head coach John Desko weighs in on that big strength by the Wahoos.
Well, they have a transfer face-off man who I think has really changed this team. You know, a year ago, Virginia might score or their opponent might score and they might not get the ball back right away. This year they're getting the ball back after they score, and it's a very potent offense, and it just lets them, they want to play fast, and it lets them play fast because they know after goals they got a good chance of getting the ball back.
It's a tough day for the Buffalo Bills faithful and football fans all around the globe. Pro Football Hall of Fame quarterback Jim Kelly is set to once again undergo treatment for oral cancer after recent testing showed that the cancer has returned. Kelly already battled past one form of cancer back in 2014, and we can only hope that will be the case again this time around. Now let's lighten up the room a little bit. One of the biggest athletic events on the Syracuse University Hill takes place tonight. That's right, it's the annual Media Cup inside the Carrier Dome between the Daily Orange and WAER. Campus media bragging rights are on the line, and it's the radio station who has a 3-game winning streak. Citrus TV has your coverage of this barn burner. Check out CitrusTV.com for a full report following the game.
Now, you mentioned WAER has that win streak. Can the Daily Orange pull off an upset tonight?
Let's see this. Connor, I'd like to say no. I have some inside sources here that say WAER is going to shellac the newspaper squad.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Citrus TV will be right back.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Well, that's all the time we have tonight for Citrus TV News. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at CitrusTV News and visit our website at CitrusTV.com. For all of us here at the station, I'm Conor Wight.
And I'm Shruti Marathe. Have a great evening, Syracuse.